Welcome to Simple Life Fables, where we uncover the hidden wisdom of ancient times to guide your modern journey today. In a prosperous valley lived Harish, a wealthy merchant known far and wide for his immense generosity and sharp intellect. He summoned three brothers named Rohan, Kiran, and Ian, wishing to grant them a life-changing opportunity to prove their worth. Harish gave each brother a heavy bag of gold and a deed to a plot of fertile land in the valley. He told them to use these resources wisely and declared that he would return in exactly 5 years to judge them. The brothers departed with excitement, each clutching their gold and dreams, unaware that this test would define their entire future. Rohan, the eldest, immediately felt the urge to enjoy his new wealth, believing that life was meant for instant pleasure. He quickly spent a large portion of his gold on luxurious velvet clothing and flashy jewelry to impress the villagers. Every night his house was filled with loud music and guests who only stayed as long as the wine flowed. While he slept until noon, his fertile land remained untouched, slowly being overtaken by wild weeds and neglect day by day. As the months passed, the heavy bag of gold became lighter, yet Rohan refused to change his extravagant and wasteful lifestyle. Kiran, on the other hand, was consumed by a deep fear of losing the treasure that had been given to him. Terrified of thieves and bad investments, he decided to bury his gold deep underground where no one could ever find it. He looked at his land and thought about farming, but the fear of drought or pests stopped him from taking action. He chose the safety of doing nothing, believing that preserving what he had was better than risking it for potential growth. His land became hard and barren, a reflection of his stagnant mindset that refused to embrace the natural cycle of growth. Ian, however, saw the gold not as a treasure to hoard or spend, but as a seed to plant for tomorrow. He carefully used a portion of his gold to purchase high-quality seeds and the best farming tools available in the market. Every morning, long before the rooster crowed, Ian was already in the fields, ready to work with discipline and passion. He cleared the rocks, tilled the soil, and watered the seeds with his own hands, treating the land with great respect. Soon, the barren earth responded to his care, and tiny green sprouts began to rise towards the warm golden sun. The first harvest was modest, but instead of spending the profit, Ian reinvested everything back into expanding his growing farm. He hired workers from the village, teaching them his methods and sharing the rewards of their hard labor with fairness. Ian also built an irrigation system to ensure his crops would thrive even during the driest months of the hot summer. 3 years passed, and Ian's farm had transformed into a thriving estate, filled with fruit orchards, livestock, and golden crops. Meanwhile, Rohan had lost everything and sat by the roadside, watching Ian's success with a heart full of bitter regret. Kiran still had his gold, but his house was falling apart, and he had gained absolutely nothing from his time. Ian did not hoard his wealth. He built schools and fed the hungry, earning the deep respect of the entire community. He understood that true success comes from patience, hard work, and the courage to take calculated risks for a better future. The 5 years finally came to an end, and the day of judgment arrived as the merchant Harish returned to the village. Harish arrived in a grand carriage, and the entire village gathered to witness the outcome of the three brothers' journey. He sat on a raised platform and called Rohan, Kiran, and Ian to present themselves and account for their actions. Rohan stepped forward with his head hanging low, his once fine clothes replaced by rags and his pockets completely empty. He confessed that he had spent all the gold on pleasures and had neglected the land until it was completely worthless. Harish looked at him sternly and said that pleasure without purpose is a fire that consumes one's own future and dignity. Next came Kiran, who proudly placed the original bag of gold on the table, still covered in the dirt of the earth. He told Harish that he had buried the gold to keep it safe and had not risked losing a single coin. Harish sighed and said that while Kiran had not lost money, he had lost 5 years of precious time and opportunity. He explained that Fear is a cage that prevents growth, and returning only what was given is a failure of potential. Finally, Ian stepped forward, not with a bag of gold, but with a ledger and a basket of fresh produce. He showed Harish the detailed records of his investments and pointed to the carts of grain and fruit behind him. Ian explained how he had used the gold to cultivate the land, creating wealth that far exceeded the original gift. Harish smiled warmly, stood up and placed a hand on Ian's shoulder, acknowledging him as the true heir of wisdom. He declared to the village that Ian was the only one who understood that resources are tools meant to be multiplied. As a reward, Harish entrusted Ian with the management of his entire estate in the valley, increasing his responsibilities tenfold. Rohan and Kiran walked away in silence, finally realizing that their choices, not luck, had determined their unfortunate fate. Ian, in his kindness, offered his brothers a chance to work on his farm and learn the discipline they lacked. This story reminds us that life gives everyone seeds of opportunity, but only those who plant and nurture them will succeed. Holding on to what you have out of fear leads to stagnation, while investing in yourself and others creates boundless abundance. Time is the most valuable resource we possess, and once it is wasted like Rohan did, it can never be recovered. In our modern world, your gold might be your talent, your education, or simply the free time you have every day. Are you spending it all on fleeting distractions like Rohan, seeking only the comfort of the present moment without foresight? Or are you paralyzed by fear like Kiran, hiding your potential away because you are too afraid to take a risk? Be like Ian. Take what you have, no matter how small, and use it to build something that will last forever. Success is not a matter of luck or inheritance. It is the natural harvest of discipline, vision, and consistent hard work. When you build wealth and wisdom, you do not just help yourself. You create a legacy that supports your entire community. The true measure of your success is not just what you accumulate, but how many lives you improve along the way. Harish knew his mission was complete, for he had found a steward who would protect and grow the valley's prosperity. Look back at your own life and ask yourself, what have I done with the opportunities that have been given to me? Your story is still being written, and today is the perfect day to start planting the seeds for your future harvest. Remember that challenges will come, just as storms hit Ian's farm, but preparation and resilience will always see you through. After every storm comes the clear sky, and for those who persist, the reward is always greater than the struggle endured. It is never too late to change your path. Even Rohan and Kiran found redemption through hard work and humility. Let your life be a celebration of effort and growth, inspiring everyone around you to reach for their highest potential. Just as a tree does not grow in a single day, your success requires patience, consistency, and unwavering faith in the process. Wealth that is not used to create value is dead weight, but resources used to create value are living, breathing power. Years later, Ian became the wise elder of the village, passing on the lessons he learned to the next generation. He taught them that the greatest wealth is not gold, but the mindset that allows you to create gold from nothing. The world is full of opportunities waiting for someone with the vision to see them and the courage to seize them. Do not wait for the perfect moment or a massive gift. Start with what you have right now, right where you are. Step out of your comfort zone, leave behind the fear of failure, and embrace the hard work that builds dreams. Will you choose the path of pleasure, the path of fear, or the path of growth? The choice is entirely yours. Choose wisely, for the harvest you reap in the future will depend entirely on the seeds you plant today. Thank you for joining us on this journey of wisdom. We hope this story inspires you to build your own masterpiece. Please subscribe to Simple Life Fables and share this video to help spread these valuable lessons to those who need them.